Could you explain a CVE you found? A common vulnerabilities and exposures (CVE) is a unique identifier for a publicly disclosed vulnerability in software or hardware. If you have discovered a CVE, explain the specific vulnerability you identified, the affected software or system, and any steps you took to responsibly disclose the vulnerability to the vendor or relevant parties. What is the latest CVE you are aware of and have used? Provide information about a recent CVE that you are knowledgeable about and may have utilized in your work. Explain the nature of the vulnerability, its potential impact, and any relevant details or experiences you have with addressing or exploiting it. Explain Linux privilege escalation, PrivaEsc. Linux privilege escalation refers to the process of escalating user privileges to gain unauthorized access or control over a system. It involves exploiting vulnerabilities, misconfigurations, or weaknesses in the Linux operating system or its applications to elevate privileges from a lower privileged user to a higher privileged user, such as root. Explain Windows privilege escalation, PrivaEsc. Windows privilege escalation involves escalating user privileges on a Windows system to gain higher levels of access or control. This typically involves exploiting vulnerabilities, misconfigurations, or weaknesses in the Windows operating system or its components to elevate privileges from a lower privileged user to a higher privileged user, such as administrator. What are OUs, organizational units? Organizational units, OUs, are containers within a Windows Active Directory (AD) domain that help organize and manage objects such as users, groups, computers, or other AD resources. OUs provide a hierarchical structure that simplifies the administration and delegation of permissions within an organization. What is a domain controller? A domain controller, DC, is a server in a Windows Active Directory (AD) domain that manages security authentication requests, enforces security policies, and stores the directory database for the domain. It authenticates users, manages access to network resources, and replicates data with other domain controllers to ensure consistency across the domain. How do you use Bloodhound and Mimikatz? Bloodhound is a tool used for mapping and visualizing Active Directory environments, identifying potential attack paths and security vulnerabilities. It helps pentesters understand the trust relationships and permissions within an AD domain. Mimikatz, on the other hand, is a powerful tool for extracting credentials, performing pass-the-hash attacks, and exploring authentication mechanisms within Windows systems.
What is a JMP instruction? A JMP, jump, instruction is a low-level instruction used in assembly language or machine code to transfer program execution to a specific memory address. It allows the program to change the flow of execution by jumping to a different part of the code. JMP instructions are commonly used in exploits, such as to redirect program execution to malicious code. Could you explain buffer overflow? Buffer overflow is a vulnerability that occurs when a program writes more data into a buffer, memory storage, than it can handle, causing the extra data to overflow into adjacent memory locations. This can lead to memory corruption, allowing an attacker to overwrite critical program data, inject malicious code, and potentially gain unauthorized control of the system. What is AMSI, Anti-Malware Scan Interface? AMSI, Anti-Malware Scan Interface, is a Microsoft Windows interface that enables anti-malware products to integrate with applications and scan their content for malicious code. It provides a standardized way for applications to request and receive malware scanning services from installed antivirus or anti-malware software. AMSI helps improve the detection and prevention of malware attacks.